It is the ultimate hair of the dog, a spicy, savory lifeline for the morning after a night you can't quite remember. But behind the thick red glass of tomato juice and vodka lies a history stained with royal executions, literary legends, and a Parisian bar that changed the world of drinking forever. Why is it called a Bloody Mary? Was it a joke played on the wife of the world's most famous writer? Or was it a tribute to a Tudor queen who burned hundreds of people at the stake? Today, we are peeling back the layers of the world's most complex cocktail, from its humble beginnings as a two-ingredient bucket of blood to the garnished masterpiece that defines the modern American brunch. Stick around, because the true origin of this drink is far darker than you think. Our story begins in the Roaring Twenties, not in New York or Chicago, but in the heart of Europe. We're going back to Harry's New York bar in Paris. This wasn't just any local pub. It was a legendary sanctuary for American expatriates fleeing the dry laws of Prohibition back home. This was the era of the lost generation, where creators and thinkers gathered to redefine culture. Enter Fernand Petiot. In 1921, Petiot began experimenting with a new Russian spirit that most Westerners at the time found tasteless and, frankly, quite boring: vodka. He decided to mix it with canned tomato juice, a staple that had just recently hit the market and was gaining popularity as a health drink. At first, the concoction was incredibly simple. It was so basic, in fact, that some customers referred to it as a bucket of blood. But Petiot was an artist. He knew the drink needed a soul. When he eventually moved to the St. Regis Hotel in New York City, after the repeal of Prohibition, he realized that the American palate wanted a kick. To satisfy the New York elite, he began layering in complexity: Worcestershire sauce, Tabasco, fresh lemon, and black pepper. The drink we know today was slowly taking shape, but it still lacked its iconic, haunting name. So, where does the name Bloody Mary actually come from? This is where the history gets messy, and everyone wants a piece of the credit. The most popular theory points to Queen Mary I of England. She earned the nickname Bloody Mary in the 16th century, after she ordered the executions of nearly 300 religious dissenters. In this version of the story, the red tomato juice represents the blood of her victims, and the stinging heat of the vodka and spices represents the fires she used to burn them at the stake. It's a grisly tribute for a morning cocktail, but it's a story that has stuck for nearly a century. However, there is another contender from the world of entertainment. In the 1930s, the American actor and comedian George Jessel claimed he was the true inventor. He insisted he created the drink by mixing vodka and tomato juice to settle a hangover. Jessel claimed it was named after a friend of his, Mery. But when Fernand Petiot heard this, he famously dismissed Jessel's version, calling it nothing but vodka and tomato juice, and insisting that he was the one who added the spices that turned it into a real cocktail. Then, there is the literary legend. This is the fan favorite for many history buffs. Legend says that Ernest Hemingway, perhaps the world's most famous professional drinker, frequented Harry's bar in Paris. His fourth wife, Mery, reportedly hated his heavy drinking habits. According to the lore, Hemingway asked the bartender for a drink that wouldn't smell like alcohol on his breath, so his wife wouldn't realize he'd been drinking. When the tomato juice successfully masked the vodka, Hemingway allegedly joked, "That Bloody Mary, she didn't smell a thing. Whether it's true or just a clever tall tale, it perfectly fits the Hemingway persona. As the drink migrated across the Atlantic and settled into the high-class bars of Manhattan, it hit a bit of a PR problem. The management at the St. Regis Hotel thought the name Bloody Mary was far too vulgar for their sophisticated, wealthy clientele. They didn't want their guests ordering something that sounded like a crime scene. For a period in the 1930s, the hotel attempted to rebrand the cocktail as the Red Snapper. While the name Bloody Mary eventually won the war of public opinion, the name Red Snapper survived. Today, if you go to a high-end bar and order a Red Snapper, you aren't getting vodka. You're getting the version made with gin. It's a botanical twist that keeps the spirit of the 1930s alive. But what about the look of the drink? The modern Bloody Mary is often served with so many garnishes it looks like a vertical salad bar. But the most iconic element, the celery stalk, was actually a total accident. In the 1960s at the Ambassador Hotel in Chicago, a guest was served a Bloody Mary, but realized the waiter hadn't provided a stirrer or a straw. Not wanting to use his finger, the guest grabbed a stalk of celery from a nearby relish tray and used it to mix his drink. He took a bite, and the combination was an instant hit. The Chicago-style garnish quickly spread across the country, and today, a Bloody Mary without celery feels incomplete. The drink has come a long way from a simple two-ingredient mix in a Parisian basement. It has become a global phenomenon, recognized by the International Bartenders Association as an official classic. It is a drink that invites customization. Some people want it mild, others want it spicy enough to clear their sinuses, and some even garnish it with everything from bacon and shrimp to entire sliders. It is a cocktail that belongs to the morning, a savory bridge between the night before and the day ahead. Whether it's a tribute to a terrifying queen, a way to hide a secret from a spouse, or just a bartender's clever experiment with a new spirit, the Bloody Mary remains the most versatile and storied drink in the world. It is more than just a cocktail. It is a meal in a glass and a liquid timeline of the last 100 years. Next time you hold one, remember, you're holding a piece of history. Born in Paris, perfected in New York, and named by the legends of the past. How do you take yours? Are you a purist who sticks to the spicy tomato classic? Or do you prefer the gin-based Red Snapper? Let me know your favorite way to drink history in the comments below. And if you want to discover the secrets behind more of the world's most famous flavors, make sure to subscribe. We're uncovering the stories that taste as good as they sound every single week. Cheers.